These aren't random shoplifters, Karen Walsh explained to Detective Mike Chin as she spread surveillance photos across her grocery store office desk. Each image marked with precise timestamps and detailed behavioral analysis that impressed a veteran police officer. This is organized retail theft coordinated team systematic targeting, professional distraction techniques. Detective Chin studied the evidence that Karen had assembled over 3 weeks of investigation. Detailed suspect, profiles, pattern analysis charts, and surveillance documentation that looked more like federal law enforcement work than typical retail loss prevention. What Detective Chin didn't know was that the woman organizing this comprehensive criminal investigation from behind a Valley Market customer service desk was Special Agent Karen Walsh, retired, former FBI white-collar crime investigator, who had spent 12 years tracking sophisticated criminal organizations before choosing grocery store management as a way to serve her community without the high-stakes pressure of federal law enforcement. Karen Walsh, 44 years old, had been managing Valley Market grocery store in the suburban town of Riverside, California, for 3 years and 7 months, maintaining the same methodical attention to detail that had characterized her 12-year career investigating white-collar crime for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., she arrived wearing a simple store manager uniform, carrying a well-organized briefcase that contained inventory reports, staff schedules, and customer service protocols that she reviewed with the systematic thoroughness of someone trained to analyze complex information for hidden patterns. The community knew Karen as the grocery store manager who had transformed Valley Market from a struggling local business into a thriving community hub that provided excellent customer service, competitive prices, and employment opportunities for local residents. She had implemented customer loyalty programs, organized community events, and developed relationships with local suppliers that kept the store profitable while serving neighborhood needs. What customers and employees didn't notice was Karen's automatic situational awareness throughout the store, the way she positioned security cameras for optimal coverage, the way she organized inventory systems that immediately identified unusual patterns in product movement. Her approach to store management was systematic and analytical in ways that suggested training beyond typical retail education. Karen had chosen grocery store management specifically because it allowed her to serve her community in ways that felt meaningful and peaceful after 12 years of investigating financial crimes, corporate fraud, and organized criminal activities that had required constant travel, irregular hours, and psychological pressure that had eventually become overwhelming. Her FBI career had included assignments to white-collar crime units, organized crime task forces, and financial investigation teams that targeted sophisticated criminal enterprises operating across multiple states. She had investigated everything from corporate embezzlement to international money laundering operations, earning commendations for analytical excellence and investigative persistence that had led to successful prosecutions of high-profile financial criminals. When Karen retired from the Bureau, she had been offered positions with private security firms and corporate investigation companies that would have used her FBI experience in lucrative consulting roles. But after years of complex investigations that often took months or years to complete, Karen had chosen work that provided immediate, tangible benefits for her local community. Valley Market served a diverse suburban community of approximately 15,000 residents who depended on the store for groceries, pharmacy services, and various household needs. Karen's management had focused on creating an environment that was welcoming, efficient, and responsive to community needs while maintaining the profitability necessary for long-term sustainability. During her 3 years at Valley Market, Karen had developed strong relationships with regular customers, understanding their shopping patterns, preferences, and family circumstances in ways that allowed her to provide personalized service that went beyond typical retail management. Mrs. Walsh, said elderly customer Dorothy Martinez during one of her weekly shopping visits, "I appreciate how you always make sure the store has the medications I need in the pharmacy, even when they're not common items." Mrs. Martinez, "We're here to serve our community. Making sure you have access to necessary medications is part of that service." What Dorothy didn't realize was that Karen's attention to customer needs was informed by the same analytical skills and pattern recognition abilities she had developed during her FBI career. She could identify when customers were dealing with financial stress, health issues, or family problems based on changes in their shopping patterns, and she often found discreet ways to provide assistance or resources. The situation that would reveal Karen's background began in February, when Valley Market started experiencing losses that seemed unusual compared to typical retail theft. Initial reports suggested random shoplifting incidents, but Karen's analytical review of the data indicated patterns that concerned her. The theft incidents were occurring with suspicious regularity, targeting specific high-value items, and involving behavioral patterns that suggested coordination rather than opportunistic crime. Karen began conducting her own investigation using skills and methodologies that she had hoped never to use again in civilian life. Karen's analysis revealed that Valley Market was being targeted by what appeared to be an organized retail theft ring, a sophisticated criminal operation that used coordinated teams to steal merchandise for resale through illegal networks. The thieves were using professional techniques that included surveillance evasion, distraction tactics, and systematic targeting of products with high resale value. This isn't random shoplifting, Karen explained to her assistant manager, Jennifer Park, during a staff meeting about loss prevention. These are professional thieves using organized methods to steal specific merchandise. Jennifer was impressed by Karen's analytical approach to the theft problem, but assumed that Karen's insights were the result of retail experience and loss prevention training rather than federal law enforcement background. Karen's investigation continued for 3 weeks, during which she documented theft patterns, identified suspect vehicles, and gathered evidence using surveillance techniques that were far more sophisticated than typical retail security measures. She was essentially conducting a federal-level criminal investigation while maintaining her normal store management responsibilities. The breakthrough came when Karen identified the theft ring's operational pattern. The criminals were targeting multiple grocery stores in a systematic rotation that allowed them to steal significant amounts of merchandise while avoiding detection by individual store security systems. Karen realized that Valley Market was part of a larger criminal enterprise that was affecting multiple businesses throughout the region, and that local law enforcement would need comprehensive evidence to successfully prosecute the organization. On March 15th, Karen observed what appeared to be a planned theft operation involving 4 individuals who entered the store at different times, positioned themselves strategically throughout Valley Market, and began executing coordinated theft activities that confirmed her analysis of their criminal methodology. Rather than simply calling police to report shoplifting in progress, Karen implemented surveillance and evidence-gathering procedures that would provide law enforcement with comprehensive documentation of the criminal operation. Using security cameras, Karen tracked each suspect's movements throughout the store, documented their communication patterns, recorded license plate information from their vehicles, and gathered evidence that demonstrated the coordinated nature of their criminal activity. When the theft team attempted to leave the store with stolen merchandise, Karen had assembled a complete investigative package that included video evidence, suspect identification, vehicle information, and analysis that connected the current incident to previous thefts at Valley Market and other regional stores. 911, what's your emergency? This is Karen Walsh, manager of Valley Market Grocery Store. I need to report organized retail theft in progress, and I have comprehensive evidence that connects these suspects to a multi-store criminal operation. Detective Mike Chen was the first officer to respond to Karen's call. He arrived expecting a typical shoplifting incident, but found a store manager who had assembled evidence documentation that impressed him with its thoroughness and professional quality. Ma'am, this evidence package is exceptional. How did you gather this level of detail about the suspects and their operations? Karen hesitated, the way she always did when people asked about her investigative capabilities. Previous experience with loss prevention and security analysis. Detective Chin studied Karen's evidence more carefully, detailed suspect profiles, timeline analysis, pattern recognition charts, and surveillance documentation that demonstrated investigative skills beyond typical retail training. Ma'am, this analysis is at a level I typically see from federal law enforcement agencies. What kind of loss prevention experience do you have? The conversation that followed revealed Karen's FBI background and her reasons for choosing grocery store management over careers that would more obviously use her federal investigation experience. Detective Chun, I spent 12 years as an FBI special agent investigating white-collar crime and organized criminal enterprises. I retired from the Bureau 3 years ago and chose retail management because I wanted to serve my community in peaceful ways. Detective Chen understood immediately why Karen's investigation of the theft ring was so comprehensive and professional. Agent Walsh, your evidence documentation is going to be crucial for prosecuting this criminal organization. It's Mrs. Walsh, now detective. I'm a grocery store manager who happens to have federal investigation experience. Karen's evidence proved essential for law enforcement's case against the organized retail theft ring. Her systematic documentation had provided not just evidence of crimes at Valley Market, but connections to theft operations at stores throughout 3 counties. The investigation that followed revealed that the theft ring was part of a larger criminal enterprise that was stealing merchandise for resale through online platforms and illegal retail networks. Karen's analysis had identified the operational structure, key personnel, and criminal methodologies that allowed law enforcement to dismantle the entire organization. Mrs. Walsh, said FBI Special Agent Lisa Rodriguez, who had been assigned to coordinate the multi-jurisdictional investigation. Your evidence gathering and analysis work provided the foundation for this entire case. Without your documentation, we would have been investigating individual theft incidents rather than recognizing the organized nature of this criminal enterprise. Karen's investigation had not only protected Valley Market from continued theft losses, but had led to the arrest and prosecution of a criminal organization that had been affecting businesses throughout the region. The success of the theft ring investigation revealed Karen's background to her community, leading to opportunities she hadn't expected when she chose retail management as her post-FBI career. Karen, said Valley Market owner Robert Kim during a meeting 2 weeks after the arrests, I knew you were an exceptional manager, but I had no idea about your law enforcement background. Your investigation saved our store thousands of dollars and probably prevented other businesses from being victimized. Karen's response reflected her commitment to her chosen career path. Mr. Kim, I'm a grocery store manager who was able to help with a security problem. My previous experience was useful, but my focus is on running Valley Market effectively for our community. But Karen's expertise had attracted attention from other business owners who were dealing with similar criminal problems. She began receiving requests for consultation on retail security issues, loss prevention strategies, and organized crime recognition that could benefit small businesses throughout the region. 3 months after the theft ring investigation, Karen was approached by the California Retail Association about developing training programs for small business owners who needed to recognize and respond to organized retail crime. Mrs. Walsh, said Association Director Patricia Chun, your successful investigation demonstrated that small businesses can protect themselves from organized crime if they understand what to look for and how to gather appropriate evidence. Karen accepted the consulting position while continuing her work at Valley Market. The combination allowed her to use her FBI expertise to help small businesses protect themselves from criminal activities while maintaining her commitment to serving her local community through grocery store management. Karen's training programs for retail business owners emphasize practical techniques for recognizing organized criminal activity, documenting evidence effectively, and coordinating with law enforcement in ways that led to successful prosecutions rather than simple incident reports. The key, Karen explained to small business owners during one of her training sessions, is understanding that organized retail crime follows recognizable patterns. If business owners know what to look for, they can identify professional criminal activity and gather evidence that helps law enforcement address the problem systematically. Karen's work with retail crime prevention led to additional opportunities that connected her current career with her FBI experience in unexpected ways. 6 months after the Valley Market investigation, Karen received a call from the FBI's Sacramento field office asking her to consult on training programs for agents who were transitioning from federal law enforcement to civilian careers. Special Agent Walsh, said FBI Training Coordinator James Wilson, your successful transition from federal investigation work to civilian business management provides a model for other agents who are considering career changes. Karen agreed to participate in transition programs while maintaining her grocery store responsibilities. Her experience demonstrated that federal law enforcement skills could be valuable for civilian careers that didn't obviously require investigation expertise. The investigative skills, analytical thinking, and systematic approach that you develop in federal law enforcement are valuable for any career that involves problem solving and decision making. Karen explained to transitioning FBI agents. The key is finding civilian work that uses those skills constructively. A year after the organized theft investigation, Karen had become a recognized expert in retail crime prevention and was regularly invited to speak at business security conferences and law enforcement training events. Her presentation at the National Retail Federation Conference focused on the principle that had guided her approach to the Valley Market investigation. Small businesses can protect themselves from organized crime by applying systematic analysis and evidence-gathering techniques that don't require law enforcement training, but do require attention to detail and pattern recognition. But Karen's primary focus remained Valley Market, where she continued serving her community while using her FBI background to enhance security and loss prevention for the benefit of customers, employees, and the local business environment. Mrs. Walsh said longtime customer Dorothy Martinez during one of their regular conversations, "I read about your investigation in the newspaper. I had no idea you used to be FBI." Mrs. Martinez, "I'm the same store manager who makes sure you have access to your medications. The only difference is that now people know I have experience with security issues as well as grocery retail." Mrs. Walsh, "Do you ever miss the excitement of FBI work?" Karen considered the question carefully. Mrs. Martinez, "I don't miss the stress, the travel, or the pressure of federal investigations. But I do appreciate that my FBI experience allows me to help protect our store and community from criminal activities." 2 years after the theft ring investigation, Karen received recognition from both the California Small Business Association and the FBI National Academy Associates for developing crime prevention programs that had reduced organized retail theft throughout the region. Her story was featured in law enforcement publications as an example of how federal investigation skills could be applied to civilian security challenges, inspiring other retired agents to consider careers that use their expertise to protect local communities. Today, Karen Walsh continues managing Valley Market Grocery Store while also serving as regional security consultant for the California Retail Association. She still arrives at 6:30 a.m. every morning, still helps customers with their shopping needs, and still organizes community events that bring the neighborhood together. But she also provides security training for small business owners, consults with law enforcement on organized retail crime investigations, and mentors retired federal agents who are transitioning to civilian careers. The grocery store office where Karen coordinates security consultations displays a small frame certificate that reads, "In appreciation of distinguished service to community safety and small business protection." Karen requested that the certificate recognize community service rather than individual achievement. Karen's story reminds us that federal law enforcement expertise doesn't diminish when applied to civilian purposes. It enhances. That FBI investigation skills can protect small businesses just as effectively as they solve federal crimes. That the same analytical thinking used to track sophisticated criminal enterprises can be used to develop better security for local communities. The next time you shop at your local grocery store, remember Karen Walsh. Remember that the manager helping you find products might have investigation experience gained in situations and cases you can't imagine. Remember that they might have chosen retail management not because they lack other qualifications, but because they found meaningful ways to apply extraordinary analytical skills to serve their community. Sometimes the most important investigations happen not in federal offices or courtrooms, but in grocery stores where former FBI agents choose to use their expertise to protect local businesses and serve neighborhood customers with the same dedication they once showed to federal cases. Sometimes the greatest investigative expertise belongs to people wearing store uniforms rather than federal badges, people who've chosen to apply criminal investigation techniques to civilian business protection, ensuring that the skills developed for federal law enforcement can be used to enhance community safety. We need to recognize and appreciate the skilled professionals among us who've chosen to serve quietly, especially those whose previous service required investigating dangerous criminals in complex cases, so that ordinary people could conduct business safely in peaceful communities. Because true investigative expertise doesn't disappear when badges are retired. It just finds new applications. And sometimes the most valuable law enforcement training involves not solving federal crimes, but protecting local businesses and communities from criminal activities, ensuring that the analytical precision developed for federal investigations can be used to enhance security for everyone.